Let's kick the beat.
Howdy y'all, my name is Sam, and this is the WildWestWatchWanter YouTube channel. This is episode 1, and I will be discussing what watches I like and what the criteria is for them, and then later I will be giving a review of one of my first watches. Thank you kindly for tuning in, and we will be starting now. Okay, thank you for sticking with me. This is a little excerpt from one of my documents that I keep on watches. Here you can see it says my watch preferences, and this is what I have found that I look for in a watch and what I like in a watch. Gotten different ones and decided that these are what tickle my fancy, and more importantly, this is more of a list that I give my friends and family if they were to think of a watch for me. Like if they once they find out I like watches, they decide like, okay, we're gonna go see what's out there, and this is just a list for make it easier for there. So the first thing is a day-date complication. It's a must-have for me to wear more than occasionally. Otherwise, it's just kind of a fashion watch, or if it doesn't have those complications, like a dress watch or something like that, it's not as useful to me. Just keeping time to wear it every day, they just never keep track of that, and then you need the date to actually serve a purpose. Number 2 is that I absolutely love the large sweeping second hand. I've got a couple with the sub dial of the seconds, and if I'm going automatic, I want the sweeping. Otherwise, I mean, I could go with quartz, which I have done, but that's really, the aesthetics of the large sweeping seconds hand is what does it for me with the automatic watches. Number 3 is preferably Arabic or Roman numerals. Just indices are not that much for me. Don't do that much for me, so I prefer something along like a Flieger watch, or like a dress watch with the Roman numerals, so that I know what the time is. I have only been wearing watches regularly for about 2 to 3 years now, so still getting the hang of figuring out what time it is, and the numbers help me with that. Number 4, I found my perfect size so far to be 42 millimeter. Anything under 38 millimeters is too small, and anything over 44 millimeters is too big. So with the under 38, that for me counts out a lot of the vintage, and over 44 is I have nothing against Invicta, it's just most of their stuff is larger. So, and traditional Flieger watches are also in there, and I've come across some that Panerai, for example, that are just a little too big for me. They just don't fit comfortably, and the size of them is just a little too much. So, and again, this is a rule of thumb. Every rule on here has been broken by at least one of my watches, but this is just a general list to give friends and family to know what I like, and to make sure I don't end up with something I really don't like. Because if they get a watch that ticks all these, even if it's a brand that I don't like that much or don't know about, if they check all these boxes, I guarantee that I will like it. Number 5 is the water resistance, at least 30 millimeters. So that I can wash my hands with, or get caught in the rain without being too worried. Obviously, 200 meters is best, but I'm in the desert, so going swimming or accidentally getting pushed in a pool is not something that comes across that much. So seriously, 30 meters to 50 meters is ideal, because it's sweat and rain. That's all I have to deal with. There is no accidental falling out of a pool or lake, or being out playing on the beach or anything like that. That just doesn't come up. So number 6 is I do not need a chronograph, a stopwatch feature. Nothing against it, just if it's an automatic watch, it's kind of a waste for me because, again, I love the sweeping seconds hand, and I already have one, so it's the day date is the function I like the best, not the chronograph. And number 7 is have nothing against quartz or digital, just to throw that out there. G-Shocks are awesome, and there's been Santo and some others that are pretty cool as well, and so that is the beginning of my preference list.
Let's kick the beat.
Still hanging around? Cool. Alright. My next part is going to be talking about my trusty Timex Ironman. Yeah. So, this little buddy here checks all my boxes that I have there. Minus the sweep and seconds hand, but I will be giving a review of this trusty little buddy of mine. Thank you. Alright, this is my Timex Ironman watch. After my Kenneth Cole got busted, I went and wanted to make sure I got something a little more durable, and that the crystal did not sit above the rim like the last one. This one sits in it. And it's stainless steel, and it's super light. It's all hollow, but it serves its purpose. That is a huge display on the digital face there. Easily see the day and date and month and time and everything. The coolest thing with all the digital watches is the Indiglo. Can't see it with my light flashing on it. All around, the stats on this is it's a Timex brand Ironman model number T5H971. Quartz movement, and it's digital. Has acrylic glass there, or cover. It is 13 millimeters high and 38 millimeters wide, 16 millimeters lug to lug. An impressive 100-meter water resistant. This bad boy does it all and ran me about $30, and is just it's got all the features that most digital watches have. Really good. It probably should be what I still wear working in a warehouse environment. Something I don't mind getting cracked, but what can I say? I love the weight and the romance of mechanical watches. So highly recommend this for anybody as a beater. This is still the one I do yard work in, or shoot, if I ever was to actually go swimming or anything, this is probably what I would wear with it. Super light. It's not that heavy, not that big. It's really great. I suggest it for anybody for their first watch. You know, get used to wearing something on your wrist before you drop some significant change to find out you can't do it. Throw this out there, that this is my watch preferences that I was just talking about, and I make these little cards for friends and family who ask me about watches and which ones I would like. And on the back I put some on here that I doubt they will ever find at the markets and places that they go, but just in case, you know, don't want to lose out on them. Okay. This is my Timex, and it was handy dandy for a couple of years until I got into actual mechanical watches. Thank you for sticking around through my initial episode here. Each one I plan on continuing to show my collection and what they mean to me, and continue to go over my wants in a watch. I have many a document I've created dealing with the stats and what I like and what I don't like, and cool watches that not all of them I personally do want to physically own, but I like to know that they exist, and I appreciate them for the art and the time that it took to create them. But much like tattoos, I like a lot of them, just not on me, and much like watches, I like a lot of them, just not for me. I mean, Richard Mueller, or whatever, however you want to pronounce that, Not for me, but I do appreciate it, and I'm glad that there's somebody out there making those. Until next time, keep classy. All right.